Welcome to the Bank First Ranger Hour. Super Talk Mississippi 93.7 Spotlight on Northwest Community College. And you can listen to our live stream at supertalknorthms.com. Just click on the link for the Bank First Ranger Hour. Now, here's your host, Gary Darby.
We do welcome you into the studios here in North Mississippi, Super Talk 93.7. Good morning, my friends. As we get ready to talk Northwest Community College today, we will let you know that Melissa Green is the biology chair and coordinator for natural sciences instruction at NWCC. She'll be the first guest coming up in about 14 minutes or so. We'll chat with Melissa about the science world that she is in and a manual, a book that they have three ladies there at Northwest have put out that's being used in the A&P world and being taught in other institutions across the country. So we'll have a lot of things that will be in our discussion with Melissa Green coming up first. And then we'll take a pause. We'll come back and we're going to get into the world of athletics to finish up the show by first introducing you to the new golf coach at Northwest, just announced last week, Adam Payne. We'll get with Adam. We'll meet, get to talk about himself, the future of the program. And then there's plenty of other sports news that I must get out to you about football, basketball, women's soccer, etc. So we have a lot of things that we need to do in the athletic portion of Northwest Community College in the second half of the program. So all of that coming up today, plus other items of business we will for sure get to as we go about our business today, talking Northwest Community College, whether it is, education or academics or the Heindel Center or whatever. There's so many great things, several different locations all throughout North Mississippi. Glad that Bank First, glad that Northwest Community College is here for us on a Thursday to make a good hour's worth of radio for you. At least that's our hope. I'm going to go ahead and hit a break and get into it, and then we will get information at the back end of the show out of the athletic department with a new golf coach. We're going to talk with Lady in Science next. But I will remind you, too, about the Heindel Center for the Performing Arts before we head off into this first break. We've talked about the ability to go online now and check out the spring schedule, season ticket packages. You could pick 3, you can pick 5. There's different ways to go about this. See what you might want and enjoy as far as, there's different things. Comedians, musicals, great things like the Beach Boys and the Commodores. You can grab Priscilla. There's Priscilla Presley coming in for an evening. Lots of great things to choose from. And then you have, the weekends before you get into, Christmas coming up on December the 10th. Celtic Woman, White Christmas Symphony Tour is coming up. So all of that is still to go. If you want to check it all out, simple thing to do is go to HeindelCenter.org, HEINDL Center.org. Not a bad seat in the house. Acoustics are great. You can check anything out. There's movies. There's different things happening all the time at the Heindel Center for the Performing Arts. Go check them out again, HeindelCenter.org. All right, let's get into it. And then we will, after the break, get a chance to meet with biology chair Melissa Green. We'll have other things we'll get into as well with her, besides a book and the fact that not only have they produced this, they're doing great things in general in that science department at Northwest Community College. We'll highlight a few things. And then we'll get into sports. New golf coach, lots of awards and different things happening, and sports still playing before the break for the holidays. It's the Bank First Ranger Hour, friends. Thursday, November 21st, 2024 edition.
TV. This hour is Everything Northwest, your connection to Northwest Mississippi Community College, and powered by Bank First. Thanks for joining us on the Bank First Ranger Hour. Join the conversation now by texting 662-426-1093.
Again, we welcome you in another version of the Bank First Ranger Hour. I'm Gary Darby, hanging in with you here until about 10. We have some things to discuss right now with the biology chair, coordinator of natural science instruction at Northwest. She's also lead author in Laboratory Manual for Human Anatomy and Physiology, a hands-on approach. We all bring that in to say, hello, Melissa Green, how are you?
Hi, Gary. How are you? I'm doing great.
Things are good. We appreciate your time and being on the program and talking with us about yourself, and then we're going to get into the book that you and a couple of others penned, and it is now being used all across the country. But Melissa, if you don't mind, maybe some background info on you, kind of where you're from, how you got to Northwest situation, and how long you've been a part of this Ranger group.
Yes, I'm from South Haven, and I have joined Northwest faculty in 2003. I worked at the DeSoto campus as what they called me a full-time adjunct for a couple of years, and then hired at the Senatobia campus full-time in 2006. So 21 years with Northwest, and I am now the biology chair, as you mentioned, and I'm the coordinator of science instruction. I've also helped with our dual enrollment programs and, advising for our pre-health professions and those different programs that we have within the science department.
With science itself, what drew you there, and is there a particular part of things that you like more than others? I know you're helping in a variety of different areas, but what drew you into the science world? And then again, maybe is there a specialization or something that really intrigued you?
Yes. Well, it really just in high school and college. I went to high school in South Haven at SBC is what it was called then. Now it's called North Point Christian School. And I was the valedictorian, and I worked really hard in my programs and got to go to Christian Brothers University in Memphis. And I was pre-med, and then I just saw these amazing professors in the biology department. And so at the end of my 4 years there, I said, I'm not going to medical school, I'm going to grad school, and I'm going to do what they do. I'm going to become a biology professor, and I'm going to do those things. So, I did some anatomy research in grad school. I did some marine biology research. But really, just in the last 12 years, I've really kind of gotten into really studying more in the anatomy, even more than what I teach my students. My niece was born profoundly deaf, and she has bilateral cochlear implants. And so just researching those and really studying the ear and how we hear, it really expanded my knowledge of it. And then when, Pearson is the company that I work for, Pearson Higher Education, as kind of my outside job outside of Northwest, an author for them. They contacted me and asked me to come and review some of their other books, and then they asked me to be an author of my own book. And I worked with two other Northwest instructors. They are my co-authors, Robin Robison, who is our district director of science instruction, and Lisa Strong, who is our e-learning coordinator for the sciences.
This is an A&P lab manual, is that correct?
It is, yes, Anatomy and Physiology. And we published it in 2020. It came out when all this stuff was shutting down for COVID, and so they've kind of had to relaunch it a couple of times. We're still in our first edition, but we're about to start working on the second edition and getting that out there. And just really successful launch. We have right now about 70 colleges and universities nationwide that are using it. I really want to thank Northwest because they allowed us to write it. We wrote it over the summers and the evenings and on the weekends. And Dr. Heindel was very kind to let us bring in a film crew, and we filmed some of the videos that are in the study area of the lab manual's website in the Northwest labs. Our Northwest students are on the cover of the lab manual, and you can find us on Amazon and everywhere else, and you can see the Northwest students that are on there. The Northwest students are in the videos, and the pictures in the book include our Northwest students. So that was very exciting for me to get to see my students on the cover and get to see our labs being, shown. And they brought in a film crew from California to video these little, they're called lab assistant videos, and they shot those in the Northwest labs there at Senatobia.
I've talked with a lot of people within the department about different things that are going on, and they all seem to mention the support that you get from Northwest, from Dr. Heindel, from everything you have to help and teach the people of tomorrow in this world. And I guess you have, just like everyone else, state-of-the-art labs and tools and things to work with.
Absolutely. My book publisher actually hired a photographer when they saw how nice our labs were to come to Senatobia and film the videos, but also to take pictures of our anatomical models and the equipment and things that we have in the lab book. And those pictures were taken at Northwest. Now, we did partner with the University of Mississippi for a couple of things that we did not have, that we took some pictures with them. And so their professor there, Dr. Carol Britson, was able to let us come in there and take pictures of their anatomical models and things like that. So it's been a very exciting process, and the administration has been very encouraging and helping us with anything we needed, and helping us, letting us continue to do this work, in addition to our job of teaching at Northwest, which is our favorite thing. We're all three of us that are authors on this book absolutely love our students and, are longtime Northwest faculty members.
You, as I told you before we got on the interview here, are coming at an interesting time because, and I told you I tell a lot about family and things that we do, but I was going through a box, and there was a small model of a human, right, that I used as a science project. I don't want to go into how many years ago that was for me in school, but the fifth grade, the younger one was a little interested, but the fifth grader really liked looking at, you could pull him apart, and then there was bones and organs and everything. And I bet we spent a good 30 minutes to an hour just kind of breaking him apart, putting him back together, and learning some things along the way. So this is kind of coming at an interesting time, right? When I was, trying to teach a little bit to the fifth grader, you were part of one of the SMART summer camps as well. So not only are you, helping, the college aged, but you reach down into the younger group. Are you still finding that interest of the young ones as well?
Absolutely. The START camp that we do every summer is, I think the science part of it is one of, the kids' favorite things. My nieces come with me, and, we dissect sharks, we look in microscopes, we do all kinds of things like that. And our science department also not only helps teach those classes in the summer camp, but we also go to some of the area schools. Like last semester we went to Coldwater Elementary School, and we took microscopes over there, and we dissected earthworms with them, and we looked under the microscope, taught them how to use microscopes, and that was a great time. And we're like, you guys are the future Rangers coming up. Y'all are going to get to do all this stuff one day. And yes, they were just thrilled. It was a very exciting time just to see the young kids get interested in science and get to spend some time using our, like you said, really nice equipment that we have at Northwest and our nice labs, and getting that interest peaked when they're really young.
Melissa's with us for just a couple of more minutes. I won't keep you long. I know there's probably another class for you to go and be a part of. You said this was a first edition for this manual. Will there be another, or are you working on some other project as we speak?
Yes to both of those. We're going to start working on the second edition in 2026. Right now, we're just continuing to get book adoptions, which is where a college or university decides this is the book we're going to use. We're going to make our students buy it. And right now, we've got about, like I said, 70 colleges and universities nationwide 5 of the Mississippi community colleges, including Northwest, East Central, Pearl River, Mississippi Delta, and we just picked up Gulf Coast Community College, have all adopted our book. And then some big colleges, I say bigger colleges and universities, like Auburn University uses it, the University of Alabama, Florida State, the Citadel, Purdue University, Virginia Tech uses our book. So that's pretty exciting when you have a Mississippi Community College authors and they have their book being used at some of these big universities. That was very exciting for us. And so, yes, they have offered us a second edition. Lisa Strong, who's one of the co-authors with me, we're also working on non-majors biology interactive labs. They're called Pearson Interactive Labs for non-majors biology, and so we've written 2 of those right now, and so those are going to be used in the classroom for online labs for non-majors biology.
Excellent. I wish I would have probably done a better job in labs. It's been fun talking for 30-some-odd years, but I did enjoy science, and I did enjoy those kinds of things growing up. Hopefully my young ones are going to do the same, and I thank you for being there and doing what you do in Senatobia and then nationally and keeping that interest going with our college-age students and the young ones as well. Melissa, good luck on future endeavors there, and we thank you for spending a little bit of time with us here on this program.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate Northwest encouraging me and supporting their faculty and our students and future students. So good to talk with you, Gary.
Thank you. Melissa Green with us. We'll be back with more of our program in just a few.
Thanks for listening to the Bank First Ranger Hour, your connection to Northwest Mississippi Community College on SuperTalk Mississippi 93.7 and streaming live at supertalknorthms.com. Just click on the link for the Bank First Ranger Hour.
Hey, I want to thank Melissa Green for being on the program today. Exciting stuff within the world of science. Writing the manual, the book that is being used around 70 different institutions of education in the country. What a thrill that must be. 3 ladies that work at Northwest Community College designing that manual, and people are teaching it in classrooms around the country. More work to come and more great things in the academic world for us to discuss as each of these shows continue to go along. Now we move into the world of athletics for the final half of the program. I'll give you a lot of different information and things going on in sports for Northwest. And now we get the opportunity to welcome in for the first time because he's only had the position for, well, let's find out. Adam Payne is the new men and women's golf coach at Northwest. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well, sir. And yourself this morning?
I think we're okay. As we talked about, it was an interesting start, but we got going, and it's 9:35. We're getting a chance to talk on the radio. All is well. When did you accept this position at Northwest?
I accepted the position 2 weeks ago and started with the team about a week and a half ago on a Monday at practice.
So give us, what is your golfing background as far as coaching and where you've been here over the last couple of years?
Sure. So I'm born and raised in Virginia. Played multiple sports at a small school called Emory and Henry College. It sits right on the border of Virginia, Tennessee. And after I got my degree in history, I played college golf. I started in the golfing program of the PGA and turned pro in August of 1996. And in 2000, became a PGA member. And in that time, I also moved from Virginia to Northeast Tennessee, became the head pro at Cherokee Valley, was the head pro for a while, and then turned into being the director of golf when it was Cherokee Valley and Plantation. And then in 2013, I realized I just enjoyed teaching more than I did anything else. So in 2013, I moved over to Wedgwood Golf Course and became a full-time instructor. And also in that time, I did several PGA Junior League programs, helped North Point Christian School start a middle school program, was their head coach for their boys team for 2 years, and was the men's and women's coach at Lewisburg High School the last 5 years, along with teaching golf as a PGA professional.
Adam Payne with us, getting a chance to meet him, new Northwest golf coach. So I love the game. I don't have the time really with my schedule to work on that game. When you're talking now to your team members, both men and women at Northwest, do you go over time? They know by now, but I mean the schedule and how long it takes to work on that craft and then be ready when you guys have a match when the schedule comes about?
Well, each player is different. What one player has to work on might be totally different than what the next player has to work on. So over the last week and a half, I've pretty much been assessing each player and what we need to work on. One of the things I told both the men and women's team is, we don't necessarily need to have hours upon hours of work. We need to have quality hours upon hours of work, meaning be focused on what we're trying to fix and work on. And if we're really focused on what we're working on and we're following the plan that I'm setting in place for each individual, over time we can get there, but we cannot allow a practice to go by where we're not focused on the trait or skill that we're trying to improve on.
I guess it's been a quick introduction yourself to the members of these teams and get to know them a little bit to see what you have when this next season begins.
Yes, it has been quick to try to figure out what we have both in our men's and women's program here. I will say that I am very grateful to everybody on both the men's and women's program. They have come in with a great attitude. They've been showing up on time, asking great questions. You can tell they want to improve. They've been staying after practice ends. They show up early. So I've been very thankful for their attitude and effort that I've seen to this point. They left today. They'll be leaving today or tomorrow, heading back home for a Thanksgiving break. But the last 2 weeks, they've come with a great attitude, worked really hard. And so moving that attitude into the spring is what we'll be working on. And then also my job is to start recruiting for the next years to come.
That was where I want to lead you into next. You've obviously, been a teacher and an instructor, and people have come to you. Or if it's high school situation, it's the boys, the girls that are in that particular high school, middle school, or whatever. Now you got to go out and try and find the talent, and I'm sure you have connections everywhere. What's the plan of attack for you to bring people to bolster a roster for the golf program?
Well, the plan of attack, first of all, is I think you have to win our neck of the woods, the Northwest area. We're very fortunate in DeSoto County being the biggest school district in the state of Mississippi. But there's also a bunch of other great programs, whether it be South Panola or Magnolia Heights or reaching over into the Tupelo, Oxford area. And so I think we have to dominate our county. Our county for the last few years has lost some really good players to other programs throughout the state. So I think that's the first goal is making sure you're getting the best players you possibly can get from Northwest Mississippi. And then branching out from that, I had 4 really, really good phone calls last night with players from the Jackson area and south that would like to come up and take a visit. And so I think reaching out early, often, knowing the things that each person likes and wants to move forward on is very key when you're talking to individuals. So not only do I have to sell the program, but I also need to spend some time knowing what makes each person tick. So I need to do my homework, before we have calls and visits, so we can make the school and the program look as best as we possibly can.
Absolutely. Look, I wish you luck in getting in and building these two, the men and women. And I know it had been a while without golf, getting it back. Obviously special for, the individuals that are getting to do it. And now getting this opportunity to meet you, we wish you the best of luck in building. And we look forward to, there's a lot of trophies and things that are going on in some of these other sports. We're not going to put too much pressure on you, Coach, but, I think right?
Oh, yeah. Hey, we're going to have a very good girls program next year. We've already signed some really, really talented girls, and I think the junior college level is going to change a little bit with the new NCAA roster restrictions that they put on at the higher levels, at the Division I and Division II level. So you're going to see some talent slide down to the junior college level that you might not have been able to get before. And so the opportunity to win and win quickly is there. We just have to make sure we grab the talent.
Interesting. All right, thanks, Coach. Nice talking with you this morning, okay?
We look forward to talking to you again soon.
Sounds good. That's our new coach of golf at Northwest Community College, Adam Payne, joining us here this morning. All right, so he's been in and around, obviously, this North Mississippi area. Great connections. 2 weeks' worth of getting under the belt, meeting the team, working with the team, getting ready for the upcoming spring season. Adam Payne. So we welcome him into the Ranger family. Tons of things to do in this final few minutes that we have, on the program. And I will start, first of all, by congratulating our friend Coach James Beatty, who's been on the program a lot, 20-0 now for his soccer team. They're in Huntsville, Alabama. They have come off of wins over Scottsdale, Arizona, 2-1, St. Charles, Missouri, 1-0 in extra time, and this morning, in 15 minutes, they're in the semifinals of the NJCAA National Soccer Championship, Division II in NJCAA. The number 1 Northwest team takes on number 5 Holmes Community College from Goodman, Mississippi. So there will be a Mississippi team in the championship match. Hopefully it is our Lady Rangers. You can go to nwccrangers.com. You can see live stats, watch, and you can go figure out if you want to do that or not and keep up with today's match at 10 a.m. It is in Huntsville, a win to get in the championship game. Northwest beat Holmes in the Region 23 championship 4-1 just 12 days ago. They won 3-2 in a match in Ridgeland in October on the 11th against Holmes. So it is actually Northwest trying to beat this top 5 team for a third time this season. And the third time, the winner will play for a national championship. So not going, obviously, if you're one of the final 4 teams, it's not going to be easy anyway. But now trying to beat a team for the third time this season. Number 1 Northwest, number 5 Holmes, NJCAA Division II Women's Soccer Semifinal in Huntsville. Go get them, Lady Rangers. So that's one sport that's in action today. Another is basketball, although today's men's basketball contest against the Louisiana Knights has been canceled and deemed a forfeit, as that was announced yesterday. The Rangers' next home game is a little bit off. I'll get you the schedule here. Now, the women's basketball game is still on track, and they will play. It is Baton Rouge Community College for the women today. So they will go ahead and play their basketball game at 5:30. But for the Northwest men, it is now off into the break. And in the community college world of basketball, and really all sports, except for football, who still has that opportunity, and we're going to get into that in a second, they take a full month off. So the men's team takes the forfeit, and at 2-4, they're now off until December the 2nd. And they will have a basketball game at Mississippi Delta. The next home basketball game for the Northwest men will be December 5th against Phillips Community College. Now, the women's basketball team will try and get back on track with a win. They're 2-4, 4 straight losses for the women's team. They do play this afternoon to evening, 5:30, whatever you want to call 5:30, against Baton Rouge Community College. Then they take the break, come back and get those December 2nd games at Mississippi Delta, December 5th at Phillips Community College. So the break is about to happen, and hopefully for the women's basketball team, they can get a win over Baton Rouge. I know they have been up and playing. I think they played at Northeast Community College in the past couple of days, so they have been out and making a trip here through North Mississippi. And so the women's basketball team for Northwest, 5:30 against them. 3-1 are the Lady Bears of Baton Rouge. So they will be in Senatobia, 5:30 Howard Coliseum, if you are looking for a little basketball to watch tonight, right there on the Senatobia campus. Football, let's speak on that quickly. Northwest head coach Benji Parker was named the MACCC North Division Coach of the Year. That was announced yesterday. Parker, of course, and his Northwest Rangers finished 10-1, lost the opener, won the next 10, won the 12th MACCC championship following a great season and winning at East Central. That is the 20th North Division title this season, and then the 12th state championship. And the Rangers are currently number 4 in the NJCAA Division I football rankings, and so they wait and see where its postseason play will be. It will be announced early next week, so we'll know when we do this show next week if the Rangers make the football playoffs. Northwest has made it 3 times in the last 4 years, missed out last year. They'll get an opportunity to go and to play for another national championship. So, barring something unforeseen, currently ranked number 4, and it doesn't look like they should fall, but you never know the way people vote in polls and what that might do. Nonetheless, there will be some postseason action because there are bowl games and things, and the state of Mississippi champion always gets an invite to some sort of postseason. Hopefully, though, it will be with the other 3 teams playing for a national championship in football. So those are things going on in the world of sports today in Northwest Community College. And now, about 9 minutes away, Coach Beatty and the Northwest women's soccer team, number 1 versus number 5 Holmes, semifinal action in Huntsville. Best of luck. Thanks to Melissa Green. Thanks to Adam Payne, our guest. Thanks to you for being with us. 662-426-103 if you ever want to text message in. Join us on all the social media worlds. And then come back tomorrow when we do a Roberts Wilson PA High School Sports Hour. So long.